This perfume gives me that clean, chic, put together type of vibes. It's so gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful, creamy, sweet, musky fragrances you can find out there. Exudes feminine energy in every single drop. Very feminine, very sophisticated. That's why it made it to this list. It's very sheer, very translucent, very angelic, so to speak. I'm telling you, the magic happens here with the chestnut, the silk, and the cocoa note. I love it. Hi guys, my name is Giselle. I review fragrances. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're one of my loyal returning subscribers. So today's video is about smelling feminine, sophisticated, and demure. I think there's a moment for everything, and personally, I don't want to smell like a femme fatale or turn heads every step of the way all the time, right? All year round, day and night, all the time. I think there's a moment for everything. Of course, I have my moments where I want to smell like a femme fatale and sexy and sultry and sensual, and you know, we all have those moments. But I also enjoy this type of fragrances that sit closer to the skin, that are more intimate, that are probably more feminine, softer, more discreet. There's a moment for this type of fragrances too. And honestly, not everyone cares about compliments. Not everyone cares about being smelled before they enter the room. So for all these people, including myself, who enjoy this type of demure fragrances, I have put together this video. I have 7 fragrances that I want to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this video today. And without further ado, let's dive in. So the first fragrance I have on my list today is Pas Ce Soir by BDK Parfum. So Pas Ce Soir in French means not tonight. And this is a very sexy fragrance, very sensual. It's very girly, very flirty. It's so beautiful. It opens very sweet and juicy. It's very fruity, very woody as well. And it's soft and intoxicating. However, this fragrance surpassed all my expectations when it comes to projection and lasting power. I remember back in 2021 when we would still wear the masks in public. I was at a department store checking out that, and the guy at the register was wearing his mask, of course, and he was behind a screen. And I remember he asked me what I was wearing. Well, he was wearing his mask and behind the screen, and I was wearing Pas Ce Soir. I remember I had to write it down because he said it smelled so delicious that he wanted to buy this for his girlfriend. And after that, another person who walked past me, stopping his tracks, turned around and asked me what I was wearing. And he said, oh my God, whatever you're wearing smells so good. And I hope you don't mind if I ask what you're wearing. Really, this fragrance projects way more than I thought. So after the 3.5, 4 hours mark, to be honest, I don't smell it anymore on myself. But through these couple experiences I had, plus other experiences when people would ask me what I was wearing and I was wearing Pas Ce Soir, I can tell you that this perfume is noticeable. People will notice it even if you can't smell it on yourself. That's pretty common with fragrances. However, this one I think behaves more like a molecular type of fragrance, in that it blends with your skin to a point that you can't smell it anymore. Not because you are nose blind, but because of the molecular structure of the fragrance, right? But people around you will still smell it, and it's amazing. It's super beautiful. The star of the show here is the quince note. I think quince is what sets this fragrance apart. Quince is a note that we usually don't see in perfumery. It's a fruit. Quince is a fruit, but you can't eat it raw. I love quince, and I usually bake it during the winter. And you have to bake them or cook them because you can't eat them raw. So I usually cook them as I would cook pears or apples, and they turn out like this, super juicy and caramelized and sweet. And this is exactly what Pas Ce Soir reminds me of. It's very juicy, very bright, it's sweet. It is a very sweet fragrance, but the sweetness is not excessive, and it's beautifully balanced with an ambery base. It's so good. It also has patchouli, which you will get a little bit in the dry down. But honestly, let me tell you something. People can't even smell it. I know people who hate patchouli and they love this fragrance to that extent. So patchouli is here, but it's barely noticeable. And yeah, unless you are very, very sensitive to patchouli, as I was saying, for the average nose, it's undetectable. And yeah, even if you don't like patchouli, I highly encourage you to try it because it's absolutely beautiful. It's very sexy. It's very mass appealing, and it is still very, very sophisticated, very demure and feminine. In fact, this is the eau de parfum, which is way more feminine than the extrait version. The extrait, I think it's way more masculine. I like it. It lasts longer than this one, but I don't care. To me, longevity is not a deal breaker. As long as it lasts more than 3 hours or 3 hours, I'm fine with that. But yes, the extrait de parfum lasts longer, but I find this one way more feminine. So today is all about feminine fragrances. So Pas Ce Soir by BDK is a must try. The next fragrance on my list of demure, feminine, and sophisticated perfumes is For Your Love by Mise en Serre. So Mise en Serre is Alberto Morella's own line. All his fragrances are extremely, extremely feminine. They all scream femininity, and you might like them or not, but regardless what fragrance you choose or from which olfactory group, I can almost guarantee that regardless of what fragrance you choose, all of them are extremely, extremely feminine. This perfume is really, really beautiful. It smells very luxurious, very sophisticated. I've read a lot of comments online of people saying that this perfume is very similar to Baccarat Rouge 540. Shocker. It seems that nowadays everything is compared to either Baccarat Rouge 540 or Delina. No, it has absolutely nothing to do with Baccarat Rouge 540. It's not just a personal perception. It is the reality. They are completely different fragrances. Now, this perfume is super duper similar to Louis Charme by Louboutin. I have it and I compare them side by side, and after a few minutes, seriously, you can tell them apart. The main difference is that Louis Charme is stronger. So I would say that Louis Charme is my nighttime version, while this one is my daytime version. It's so good. At first sniff, the opening is pretty fruity. It has a very strong raspberry note. It's really, really good. It's also musky. And it also has cachalots, which is a synthetic note that mimics the scent of the sandalwood, the scent and the creaminess of the sandalwood. And it also has a beautiful patchouli and benzoin base. It's really, really gorgeous. It's fruity, musky, it's woody, it's ambery. Very elegant, very elevated. It's warm, it's creamy because of the cachalots, as I said. So it definitely is a fruity, woody, ambery fragrance. However, instead of being dry and earthy in the base, in the dry down, it's creamy, smooth, and very velvety. It leans on the formal. I would say this is a typical formal type of scent. I mean, you can wear whatever you want, of course, but this is a fragrance I wouldn't wear to run errands or to go to the grocery store. This is something I would wear for a special event, for example, or whenever I want to feel like a VIP guest. This fragrance will get you noticed. It's not a punch in your face. It's nothing like you will be smelled before you enter the room or something like that. However, it will get you noticed, but it's not an aggressive fragrance, right? So if you want to be noticed without being aggressive with your fragrance and without losing sophistication and class, then For Your Love is a must try. So the next one on my list is Sois Malaqué by Dries Van Noten. So although I don't like to repeat fragrances on my videos, sometimes it's worth it. And especially today, since we are talking about feminine, demure, sophisticated fragrances, by all means, I needed to include Sois Malaqué. I recently reviewed this fragrance 2 or 3 weeks ago, but in case you missed it, I'm going to review it again. This perfume is the embodiment of femininity and sophistication. It's so good. It's so good. Sois Malaqué is basically a chestnut and silk potion. It's a potion. It's so good. It's very silky. It's very nutty, very velvety, slightly sweet. It has cocoa in the base, which provides a very light gourmand touch to this fragrance, but this is not a gourmand perfume. So if you're looking for gourmand scents, I wouldn't recommend this one in particular. Now, if you're looking for silky, nutty, creamy, smooth, velvety scents that are super feminine, very sophisticated, and demure, this one would be one of the top 3 I would recommend. If you're familiar with this designer, you probably know how edgy he is in his approach, right? So when I sniffed this scent for the first time, it was the last thing I would have expected from this brand. So beautiful. It has black currant and bergamot in the opening. However, the chestnut and the silk note combined together with the cocoa in the base balance that bright, almost zesty and green opening to perfection. It's very sensual, very elegant, super feminine, very, very sophisticated. It smells super duper classy. However, it's a very modern type of scent, 100% signature scent worthy. This is a type of scent I will never get tired of wearing, day or night, all year round, formal and informal, dress it up, dress it down type of thing. It really is a beauty. It's not cheap, but I think it's worth every single penny. I never regretted buying this fragrance, and once I go through the whole bottle, I will definitely buy it again because I love it. I love it. And the moment I hear they will discontinue this fragrance, because we know that could happen anytime, I will buy a backup bottle because it is a beauty and I get tons of compliments. It's a fragrance that doesn't project massively. However, when people come close to you, they can smell it. And I always, without exception, get the exact same compliment. You smell delicious. And I've been complimented by people who aren't into fragrances at all, starting with my husband. He loves it. He's not into fragrances, but he supports my passion 100%, and he loves this fragrance on me. So yeah, I can only say positive things about 𝘰𝙗 malakeh. If you have a chance, give it a try. I would say this is a pretty safe blind buy in quotation marks, right? Take it with a grain of salt because I'm not encouraging you to go blind buy. But sometimes you want to treat yourself, you want to do some retail therapy, and you don't have access to buy decants. If you can't test fragrances for whatever reason and you're looking for a different fragrance, this perfume is very different. There's nothing generic here. If you like creamy, soft, sophisticated, nutty fragrances with a tad bit of sweetness without being a very sweet perfume, I think this is a pretty safe blind buy. Again, take it with a grain of salt. It's very addictive and to a point intoxicating. I'm telling you, the magic happens here with the chestnut, the silk, and the cocoa note. When I wear this fragrance, I can't stop smelling my wrist. I know I'll be the whole day. I'll be smelling this fragrance all day long. It's so, so beautiful. I really highly encourage you to try it if you like this type of scents. And I would love to hear your thoughts if you get your nose on it. 𝘰𝙗 malakeh by 𝘖𝑓𝑎𝑛. So the next fragrance on my list is Lost in Paradise by 𝑥_ＮIHILO. Shocker, me again with another 𝑥_ＮIHILO fragrance. I absolutely adore this house, and I think they have one fragrance for every single category, occasion. You know, guys, it's one of my favorite houses. In whatever you're looking for, highly likely you will find it among 𝑥_NIHILO fragrances. It's an amazing house. All their fragrances are very unique, and I love them. I absolutely love them. And today, since we are talking about demure, feminine, sophisticated fragrances, I couldn't think of a better example than Lost in Paradise. This perfume is so, so good. Oh, so good. It has pink pepper, which is very prominent in the opening, but it just provides a little bit of a kick, and that's it. It's not spiciness per se. It's just that kick that makes the fragrance uplifting and very invigorating. This perfume is super luxurious. It's very sheer, very translucent, very angelic, so to speak. It's very, very beautiful, super feminine. This is femininity in a bottle. Honestly, this perfume exudes feminine energy in every single drop. Lost in Paradise has peonies, it has lychee. Lychee is having a moment in perfumery right now. I love lychee, both as a fruit and as a nutty perfumery. It also has cedar, and it has musk. It is a pretty musky scent, but you will get more of the musk in the dry down. Super beautiful. It's pretty long lasting. This perfume lasts about 6 hours on my skin, if I'm not mistaken. It's pretty long lasting. Although it's a skin scent, it has a very beautiful sillage. It has a very sheer type of sillage. Nothing dense, nothing thick. It's very sheer, very translucent as the scent herself. Lost in Paradise, it's pretty watery, and mind you, I say watery and not aquatic because I think the word aquatic can be a little bit misleading. When we say a fragrance is aquatic, usually involves ozonic or marine notes, salty notes, beachy notes without being coconutty. but those are the type of notes more associated with an ocean vibe, for example. Typically, aquatic fragrances have that type of ocean vibes, but this is nothing like that. There's nothing ozonic here, nothing marine, nothing salty. This actually is very fruity, it's very floral, it's very dewy, and it's very watery, as I was saying. I love it. Which watery doesn't mean watered down. This fragrance actually has a presence, and considering its category, I would say it's a pretty long-lasting fragrance. And as I said, it has a presence that if it was watered down, it wouldn't, right? It's so, so gorgeous. Lost in Paradise is a very mass appealing fragrance. It's nothing obnoxious here. It's a very safe fragrance. Even if you work in a call center or in a tiny cubicle, you will be safe wearing this perfume because you won't bother, you won't choke anyone around you. It's very mass appealing. Everybody who smelled this fragrance on me loved it. I always get tons of compliments when I wear this fragrance. I tend to overspray it a little bit, but it's super sophisticated. If I had to pick 3 out of the 7 I have today, I would say this is number 1. This is number 1. It's femininity in a bottle. It's DEMURE, but it also has a very beautiful presence. It's mass appealing. It's long lasting, has a beautiful sillage. So everything I have to say about this fragrance is positive, and yes, I love it. This fragrance at first sniff, I'm pretty sure you'll think this is a spring summer type of scent. Yes, I get it, but let me tell you that you can pull this off all year round and you won't be disappointed. This perfume gives me that clean, chic, put together type of vibes, and that, my friend, has nothing to do with seasons. So yeah, Lost in Paradise is a beauty. If you have a chance, try it, because I don't think you will regret. So the next fragrance I have on my list today is Velvet Oriental Musk by Dolce & Gabbana. This perfume belongs to their Velvet collection. It's like their private blend, or the more niche, more upscale line. It has been relaunched and renamed as Velvet Blue Musk. But my understanding is that it's the exact same fragrance. They just changed the name because the name Oriental became offensive in the last years, unfortunately. I remember this fragrance. It was impossible to get it. Completely sold out here and in Europe. And when I finally found it, I call it my unicorn. It was my unicorn. I really wore it sparingly because it was super duper hard to find. I even wanted to buy a backup bottle and it was gone, like nowhere to be found. Now, since I bought this one, they renamed and relaunched this fragrance as Velvet Blue Musk. And this is the one I'm going to review today, Velvet Oriental Musk, but it's identical. It's the same fragrance. It's one of the most beautiful, creamy, sweet, musky fragrances you can find out there. It's very long lasting as well. Very feminine, very sophisticated. That's why it made it to this list. This fragrance is a stunner. I don't care what other people say. It's generic. It's too basic. I don't know what is it with people in fragrances. Everybody seems to be looking for something groundbreaking or some sort of purple squirrel or something like that. I don't go by that. If a fragrance smells good, that's enough to me. If the fragrance lasts what I expect, if it lives up to my expectations, I'm happy with that. And I don't have unrealistic expectations when it comes to buying a fragrance. Honestly, I love masking fragrances, but I smell very few that smell like this one. What sets this fragrance apart to me is the fact that it is sweeter and creamier than the typical musky perfumes. Usually when we think about musky fragrances, we think about something ethereal, translucent, sheer, almost angelic type of thing. This fragrance is all that, but it also has a great presence and it has a lot of depth without being dirty or without being earthy. Let's spray some here. Oh my goodness. It's so warm, it's so woody, but it's a cottony, woody scent, if it makes sense. It's very cottony, very cocooning, it's very creamy, it's almost lactonic. Even though there's no lactonic note listed among the notes, it is so creamy and smooth that it's almost lactonic. It's so comforting, so cocooning that it makes me feel like I'm floating on a cloud. It's definitely sweeter and creamier than most musky scents, which is a plus to me because this is exactly what I love about musky fragrances. Very, very beautiful. It's sweet, but it's not obnoxious. It's very, very mild. It lasts like 8-9 hours on my skin. It's very long lasting and it's super versatile. You can wear it during the day, during the night, Personally, I love to wear this during the night and especially during the winter. I've noticed that during the winter it lasts even longer. During the summer it pulls creamier, while during the winter it still holds its creaminess, but it lasts longer. It has a very soft gourmand component, which is praline in the base, and that is a note that you will smell. Basically, once the fragrance settles down, you will keep on smelling that praline note for the entire time this fragrance remains on your skin. The praline here is not chocolatey or nutty. However, it provides that addictive gourmand component together with a lot of creaminess and depth. 100% signature scent worthy, super feminine, demure, sophisticated. I can't rave enough about this fragrance and I highly recommend you to try. And the last fragrance I have for you today is Tenue de Soirée by Goutal. Tenue de Soirée means evening dress in French, and yes, this is a nighttime fragrance. At least I wear this fragrance for night outs or for date nights. It's a very intimate, very feminine, very sophisticated fragrance. It's a ̈hipper fragrance. ̈hipper is an olfactory group. I talk about it all the time. To me, this olfactory family holds the most elegant fragrances out there. Or in other words, the most elegant fragrances I have tried, they are, for the most part, ̈hipper fragrances. We have leather ̈hippers, we have fruity ̈hippers, we have floral ̈hippers, and so on and so forth. This is a fruity ̈hipper. What a beautiful scent. So feminine. Well, femininity, it's part of Goutal's DNA. Just as I mentioned the same about Mise en Serre, Goutal is renowned for the femininity in their fragrances. Look at the bottle. Look at the pom-pom. I lost the lid, unfortunately. I don't know. It's probably in that in that dresser somewhere. But it's so feminine. Tenue de Soirée belongs to the same line as Nuit et Confidence and a couple more. This perfume opens very bright, very juicy, almost zesty. But this initial burst of freshness disappears pretty quickly, and then you'll start getting more of the heart notes, which are iris, violet, and water lily. The base is also very beautiful. It's slightly gourmand, it's slightly musky. It's so beautiful. It also has praline. However, in this case, it doesn't add a gourmand component, but it adds creaminess. And we also have patchouli here. However, it's very toned down. It's not earthy. It's not dirty. Beautiful fragrance. Super feminine. That's why I made it to this list today. It's a very ultra feminine fragrance. It will make you feel like so chic, so put together. An all-year-round type of scent. Of course, you can wear this during the day, but to me, this is a nighttime scent. It's soft. It sits close to the skin. Projection is average. Sillage is also average. It does have a beautiful sillage during the first half an hour to an hour, and the fragrance lasts about 5 to 6 hours, if not more, on my skin. That's without even overspraying. Just a couple spritzes last 5 to 6 hours, so I'm happy with the performance. However, when I go out and I wear this fragrance, I tend to overspray a little bit because, you know, I like to be a little bit extra. So if you want to smell feminine, demure, and sophisticated, Tenue de Soirée is a must try. So guys, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed my video about feminine, sophisticated, and demure fragrances. Please let me know in the comments what you would like to see next. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.